The 1%er Podcast with Sam Bakhtiar, bringing you the 1% knowledge to help you reach your full potential. Learn what it takes to rise above the 99% and become a 1%er.
Hey everybody, what's going on? This is Sam Bakhtiar with the 1% Podcast, and today I have a very special guest here for you. It's Daniel Alonzo. What's happening, my man?
I'm feeling great, man. Thank you for having me. Appreciate you.
Thank you so much for coming to my man cave. I really appreciate you. I've been doing my research on you, and I can tell you, man, I'm so impressed. So you have 1,400 agents under you,
Yep.
over 40 offices that you work with. You were a multi-millionaire at age 28. You actually had $1 million in cash.
Right.
I love that because it's not just net worth, just actually cash, right? Damn. Okay, I gotta step my game up because I didn't get there till I was like 35 or something like that, right? And you made all this money, right? And you were living very, very frugally for a long time, right? And now what you do is you help others experience what you have in life.
That's it.
So now you're a true 1%er because not only you're successful, but your success has rubbed off on other people. Now you became significant. Tell me a little bit about your history.
Well, 21 years old, man. I was one of my very, very good friends from high school. He told me about this business. He's like, hey, man, you should try financial services. And, you know, of course, for 4 months, I blew him off. And, you know, he kept telling me, man, check this out. And I just kept, you know, for some reason, I didn't believe where I grew up was not a wealthy neighborhood. I didn't have rich parents or anything like that. Matter of fact, it was in El Monte, not so good neighborhood in El Monte.
El Monte is the hood, man.
Exactly.
Isn't that a Hispanic hood, right?
Right. I would not drive my car in that neighborhood today. Okay.
The Tesla?
The Tesla, exactly.
I saw that, man. That's a badass Tesla. I want to talk to you about that a little later.
Love it. So, you know, where I came from, maybe my self-esteem was just so low and my belief level was so low, I didn't believe that great things could happen to me. And so when my buddy was telling me about this business and telling me about opportunity and a chance to change my life, you know, I kind of laughed at it a little bit. You know, I was one of those people where I said, man, that probably can't happen to me. And so I kept blowing them off, and then
did you think it was like a scam?
I thought I thought it was a pyramid. I thought it was a scam.
Got it.
I had friends around me that talked down about the business. And there was something about 4 months later, you know, I was out late at night partying with the wrong crowd, doing shit that I shouldn't have been doing.
Been there.
Right, yeah. And I was, you know, and I almost felt guilty. I almost felt like I was wasting my life away. I mean, it was like a very painful feeling that I had. And I said, I'm wasting my life. And I better fucking, you know, get my shit, you know, going. Otherwise, I'm going to spend my whole life ruining my life.
That usually comes when you went out, had a good night of drinking.
That's it.
And now you're like, you know, you have a little hangover. You're like, fudge.
That's it.
What did I do, man? I need to get my shit together.
That's it.
And I can just see it because I've done that. You go drinking all night, you know, and then the next morning you're like, man, you know, I can't be doing this, man.
And I think a real winner, I think a real 1%er in my core, right, and my soul, I think the real champions, they all feel that. They feel that little bit of guilt going, what did you do, man? You just wasted the time again.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And then so I woke up, man. I called him up. I'm like, dude, what are you telling me about? What do we got to look at? Let's check this thing out. And then boom, went into business, got off to a fast start, never looked back.
And what did you say, the business? The business was what?
Financial services.
Services.
I own a financial services company. We do investments. We do insurances. You know, pretty much anything. You know, retirement, college funds, different things like that. And so I went and I got licensed, and I did everything they asked me to do. I was so coachable, man. I mean, I played sports growing up. So I played baseball all my life since I was tiny. I played a little bit of football, but mainly baseball. And I came in and I looked at the business like I was on a team.
Yeah.
And I told the guy, I remember telling the guy, he was making like $400,000 a year, the guy above him. He was making about $400,000, and he told me.
And this was back.
This was 22 years ago.
Gosh.
And so he told me, he said, I will help you become financially independent. He says, I'll help you make $100,000. Now I was making $7 an hour at that time. I was still thinking this bullshit, right? I mean, but for some reason I said, man, what do I got to lose?
Yeah, you got nothing to lose.
I got nothing to lose.
You can't get less than $7 an hour,
exactly,
right?
Exactly. And so I said, you know what? I'm just going to try. And I tried, and man, I did everything they asked me to do. And lo and behold, a couple of years later, we were making $100,000 a year. And then it went to 170 the next year. And then it went to 250 the next year. And then it went to 350 the next. I mean, these are consecutive years. It went to almost $500,000 after that. And I woke up and I was financially independent.
So I have a question for you, right? So you made from making $7 an hour to literally in a year you made $100,000.
Well, it was a couple of years. Yeah.
So it's 2 years, right? But I mean, it was like exponential growth, right?
Yeah.
How did you handle that? Because a lot of people, they self-destruct. You know what I mean? All of a sudden you go make $7 an hour to making 6 figures in 2 years. Right. I know I wasn't mature enough when I did that.
Right.
I was going out in the clubs. I thought I was P. Diddy. I was getting bottle service. I was making it rain. I was all that kind of stuff. Right. But you didn't do that, did you? How did you do that? Because I mean, it's like kind of like the rappers, right?
Yeah.
The rappers, like they get their first record deal, they get their big old chain, fancy cars and all that kind of stuff. How were you able to stay disciplined, especially coming from like the hood, right? Because when you coming from the hood, when you make some money, you kind of want to make everyone know, hey, I made some money, I'm the man, right? And the first things goes, those are material things. How were you able to stay so disciplined?
I think, when you're asking me that question, the first thing I'm thinking about is the fact that I had really good mentors. So I had a mentor, his name was Hector, and this guy kept preaching into me, save your money, financial independence, that's the goal, financial independence, millions saved. I mean, he just kept on and on and on. And so it was almost just like a program for me that I
instilled to you at a very young age.
At a very young age. I was so lucky that I had these people instill in me these principles of money. And of course I came from the financial business, so I did understand money.
You taught it, and that's what you I tell people this, man. I said, if I know what I know now, when I was in my 20s, I'll be a billionaire, not a millionaire.
That's it.
Right?
That's it.
But you had that chance, you stuck to it. And I'm so proud of you because most people are immature at that age. I know I was. I know I was because I made a bunch of money and I didn't have mentors. I didn't have the right thing. I started blowing money away. The next thing you know, I almost went bankrupt. Right? So you were able to maintain it. You were able to grow it. And now I'm not looking at you, 1,400 people that work with you, 42, 43 offices, something like that, right? So tell me, what has been the cornerstone of your success? If you had to sum it up in 1 or 2 words, okay? I'm looking at you right now. Well, one is like almost like discipline. It's almost like a sport, like you said. You were very focused, very disciplined. What else have you done? Obviously mentorship was one of them. What else will be the cornerstone of your financial success?
Well, you said it. When you were asking me that, all I kept thinking about was discipline. I'm disciplined in what I do. I'm not perfect. I'm just real good at the whole balancing. I've always been real good at understanding, like, in moderation. So when I go out and I have a great time with my friends, it's moderation. You know what I mean? When I go spend money, it's moderation. When I the things that I do are in moderation. So because it's a discipline.
It is. It really is.
I know, and I'm real big, and I think what really helped me early on is the fact that I wrote down 150 things that I wanted to do in my life. Okay? It was a goal list. It was called Goals for a Lifetime.
It
was my bucket list. Yep.
Got it.
Yep. And I wrote down 150 things, and actually I did it in part because of I remember being in junior high school, and this guy came to do like an assembly. He came and he spoke. He was like a guest speaker at the school. And I remember him talking about how he made this list, and then his whole focus in life was to try to check off the boxes, man, to see all, he wanted to see the world. And so the first thing I did when I got into business is I made this list. And then so when I got into business, all I was trying to do was trying to check those boxes off.
Yep.
And I knew, I never thought quit. Like a lot of people say, man, did you ever think about quitting or anything? I never thought quit because I always knew, where the fuck am I gonna go?
Yeah.
If I quit, if I give up now, where do I go to after that? I'm gonna go get a job and might as well throw that list away because I'm never gonna accomplish or achieve that goal list at a job paying me 15, 20 bucks, 25 bucks an hour. It's just not gonna happen. So I think that the real answer is discipline, man. I was very, very disciplined, but you said it as well. Mentorship played a major, major part. And I always felt like I didn't want to let these people down, Sam. I really, these were mentors in my life that I cared about, that I trusted, that they were like father figures from me. And I have two dads. I have a stepfather and then my real dad. And so my real father, love him to death. I mean, I'm very lucky to have him as my father. But of course, growing up, I mean, he made a lot of bad choices, made a lot of bad decisions. He was a consummate excuse maker. And so that really kind of guided, but he was great with people and he was a great relationship person. And so it's like,
you took the stuff that was perfect.
Yes.
I want that, but I don't want that from him, right?
Exactly.
So you took your own, and then from your stepdad, you're like, well, I like that, but I don't like that. And then you combine them and there's you.
That's it. Yeah, I combined these two men. Yeah. That's me right there. And my stepdad, wonderful, wonderful man, more on the quiet side, not a relationship guy, but he taught me how to make lists. Yeah. He taught me how to make to-do lists. Yeah. He taught me, he taught me how to wear polo shirts. When we all wore polo shirts, what I mean? And he taught me he raised my level. He was making over $100,000 a year. He was he graduated from USC, so he gave me a little bit. So I took the best, and I left the rest. Those two men. So then when I got into business, I saw multimillionaires now, and I started getting into a whole nother level of leadership and people that I looked at as mentors and father figures almost as well. And so I took from them the best of them again. And but I never wanted to let these people down, and that's what I think kept me focused for so long.
Nice. So you have to me, a 1%er is mastering 5 areas of life, which is faith, family, fitness, finance, and fun, right? So I know you're very disciplined. Do you anytime just say, indulge? I don't feel like doing anything in moderation, do you indulge? Do you do that? Or do you always maintain a certain amount of discipline?
No, I indulge.
Okay.
I definitely
Give me an
have
example.
fun.
Give me an example.
Well, we did a couple of years ago, and this was bad. It was my brother's fault. My brother works for a wine company, and so he brings me the best wines that you can get. So we love wine. But I don't drink a lot. I mean, I drink, again, it's in moderation. If I want to go out and have a fun night, I'll go out and have a fun night and nobody says nothing about it, But we got one of those party buses a few years ago for my birthday. And my brother was not, I like, the free pour crap, man. I mean, you free pour vodka, man, you're done. You know what I mean? And I had a rough night, man. And I didn't make it back alive, man. It was a rough night. And so look, I love going out and having a great time. I'm one of the people that I'll be the last one to leave the party. I mean, it'll be 4:00 in the morning and me and so just be having a conversation and we're having a great time or whatever. And, we love Cabo. I mean, when I go down to Mexico, we usually let loose and pull all-nighters and just have as much fun as we want to have.
Awesome. I'm glad. I'm glad. Like you're not like a cyborg. You have tendencies to, and all that kind of stuff. I was admiring your discipline. I'm like, but I'm like, man, I wish I had that kind of discipline. I'm disciplined in some areas of life, but when I do something, I go all out. Right. I mean? I go all out. There's no moderation, and that kind of stuff. That's not necessarily a good thing, but and then sometimes I go all out this way. Then for me to be in the balance, I have to go all out this way. Right. You know what I mean? Right. And be able to kind of balance the whole budget and all that kind of stuff. So let me ask you something. So we talked about your finances. You have your finances together, right? Let's talk about your family. I was looking at your pictures on Instagram. You have a beautiful wife and a beautiful son and a daughter, and your wife's been your high school sweetheart. I'm just looking at you, man. I'm like, is there anything wrong with this guy? Good looking guy, you know what I mean? Good looking guy, perfect hair, you're in great shape, So tell me about your family, tell me about your wife. How'd you guys meet? How is that whole transparent? And is she help you in your business? How is she involved? Does she support you? Obviously, I'm sure she does, but tell me about that a little bit.
So high school sweetheart. So we met at a party.
Okay.
16, I think it was about 16 years old. We were juniors in high school, and it was just like a backyard party. And she walked in, and it was like, I'd never seen her at the parties before. So I said, well, I might as well talk to her, right? Yeah. She was like the new face in the crowd. The party. And I'm like, I'm going to go over there and talk to her. So
you were the frequent at the party.
Yeah,
she
exactly.
was a new face.
And
like,
she was a new face.
Oh, got it.
Yes,
got it.
Exactly. And
you were hunting.
I was hunting. I was like, I was there quickly. And it's funny because she would not give me her phone number that night. She was real kind of disciplined family and very strict family, old school Catholic upbringing. And she wouldn't give me her phone number. It was none of that, right? And so a few days later, whatever, we ended up talking again, and then we just started dating, and we never looked back, man. It was like, and then, now, was it easy all the time? Absolutely not.
Not at that age. Growing up all the time, you're going to have, differences and all that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
When I tell this story, when I went first into business, we had a time where it was almost over.
Yeah.
It was almost done because I remember sitting in my Nissan Sentra. It was like a maroon Nissan Sentra, and we're sitting in the front of my parents. And
I gotta say real quick, man, Nissan Sentra and what was it, Nissan Altima, gotta be like the official Latina car of the century, because you know what I mean? I think Nissan Sentra and Nissan Altima.
We all had one at one time.
So yeah, you gotta go.
Exactly. And so I'm driving, and I'm still living at home in my parents' house right here in San Dimas. Okay. And I'm living at my parents' home, and we drive in, and she actually was living with me for a while, actually living with us, with our family for a while. And we drove up, and I'm 21 years old, just went into business, and we had this major blowout fight because we were so young. She thought that the business was taking me away from her. So it was becoming she was competing with the business.
She was competing with the business,
and I was so focused, and I was so like, I want to change my freaking life, man. I'm tired of being broke. I'm tired of not having nothing. I'm driving a little Sentra, and before that it was a little pickup truck, and it's like I was tired of being broke, man. I didn't want that for my life, and so. Man, and I told her, I gave her an ultimatum. I'm like, look, you're either gonna jump on board with me or we're done. It was like that one day. It was like, you're either with me or...
But like, woman, I'm trying to provide for you, girl. What you doing, girl? What's up?
Yeah, I told her. And I tell people that, obviously today, everybody knows she stayed because, and of course she shows her unlimited American Express card.
Yeah, right.
And then everything's all right. The world is fine.
I always tell people is this, man. It's like, with most ladies, when they don't get it yet, right? They want a man that'll be able to provide a great lifestyle and be home with them all the time. And it really doesn't go when you start starting out right away. You know what I mean? It'll get to that point one day. I remember listening to Grant one time. Grant Cardone was talking one time, and he said he was dating this girl, and the girl kept saying, hey, where are you at? He goes, I'm working still. Where are you at? I'm working still. Where are you at? Like every 10 minutes, where are you working on? And he got fed up with it. He goes, I'm trying to buy you a purse, bitch.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to do.
That's what I'm trying to do. Right.
And I'm so glad that everything worked out. You guys now have beautiful, beautiful family. I saw a picture of you in I think it was your backyard. What a beautiful home.
Thank you.
What a beautiful home. You live in Rancho? Oh, what a beautiful home, man. I was looking at it, I was like, wow, I was just like obsessing over your backyard and everything like that. So your family life, you had some rocky start, just as you should, being a high school sweetheart at 16, all that kind of stuff. And now your wife came on board, saw the bigger picture. Yep. You have two beautiful kids. So now tell me about your fitness.
Okay, before I get to that, I want to mention though that she did help me grow the business. She worked in the office. I was the guy out in the field. I was the salesperson. I was the closer. I was the recruiter.
She was the organizer.
She was the organizer. She's an
As she
executive
should, yeah.
personality, and she made sure that the apps were sent in. She also, because I'm a tough coach, man. I mean, I'm one of those guys where I'll raise my voice if I have to. I will,
So I'm
make
not the
sure.
only. So I'm not the only one, man.
Yes,
God,
yeah,
man,
you're not
somebody
the
else
only
is
one.
crazy as fucking me. You know what? I was about to go crazy, man, because when I get with my team, it's like I'm passionate, right? I'm saying if you're a 1%er, you got to be a 1%er, and I'm going to call you out every single time you're not a 1%er,
That's it.
right? And with hundreds and hundreds of people that have started with me, a few have made it, and the few that have made it have become millionaires.
That's it.
You know what I mean? And I'm so glad you're the same way, because for a second I thought I was just losing my mind. You know what I mean? So
I'm telling you. I mean, I'm not kidding. I mean, I'm that guy that'll, get up on the table and throw an eraser or throw a pin or, every once in a while. It doesn't happen often, but every once in a while. I'm just a tough coach, man. I mean, because I came
because you want the best for them.
I want the best for them. And I know how freaking good it is. I know how worth it is. Like, winning is not easy, but it's fucking worth it, man. I mean, it is so damn worth it to have, to
and it's just a bit more effort.
People don't get it. Look, I mean, to have your bills paid on the first of the month and to not have to worry about another amount of, you don't have to make any more money to provide for your life for the rest of your life, like total absolute financial independence, man. Let me tell you something. Like, I get jacked up about that. I get very, very passionate about it, because if they only knew how good it was, they would work 10 times harder.
You don't have to balance the checkbook.
That's it. You don't
to
have
I wrote this check, let me see how much I have left.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That's when you do that, that's when you can just write a check, don't worry about how much you have.
Exactly.
There's enough to pay for it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. And then after that, there's still a lot more. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but it's like, so I was the tough one. So I tell people, I was like the caveman. I'd go get the food, right? And then she would make sure that it was taken care of, right? I mean, and that was our partnership.
And I think look at it over the evolution, right? That's what we do. We're hunters.
That's it.
Right?
That's it.
We're hunters. We go out there, we go get stuff, we hunt, and we bring it home. And the female protects it and make sure, we know it's enough, make sure, the kids are okay, make sure everybody's okay. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad that she became part of it. And
she was the backbone, man. I mean, she kept a lot of people in when I would probably push them out sometimes, because I was that hardcore.
You need the
it was
balance.
a balance of two people kind of making sure that things were done the right way. Like, I would bring them in, they would stay because of her. She'd do the handwritten little notes and all that, birthday cards, and she would send them, anniversary gifts and things. I would have never done any of that crap.
We know we're from the same cloth. You know what I mean? We don't think about it. I'm like, you want it. If you don't want it, this is what it is,
exactly.
Right? So okay, so tell me about how you stay in such a great shape. Because you have flat stomach, look good, race 26, whatever it is.
No.
Look great.
I mean, the truth is, I was just talking about this with somebody a couple of days ago, and I've never been a gym rat. Never been a gym guy. I have a trainer I go to once a week for a half an hour, and that's it. The rest of the days, I have my own little routine. I do my push-ups, my sit-ups, my pull-ups, my trampoline, my barbells, little things like that. I've never had, I'm not even kidding, I've never had a disciplined workout regimen. Now, it's only because in the beginning years, Sam, especially in the beginning years, my total focus was to get financially independent. I had zero motivation to go. Now, looking back, I wish I did.
Okay.
Looking back, I wish that I would have been trained by somebody. I wish that somebody would have coached me. It's like, you get older and you learn things. Now I have a trainer. You know what I mean? Now I have more of a fitness regimen than I did before. Of course, I think what helps me a lot is my diet, of course.
Which is the most important thing against staying in shape.
It really is.
You can't
really
outrun a fork.
That's it. Exactly. And so I have my disciplined food that I eat every day. And if I want to eat ice cream, I'll eat ice cream. Okay, I have vices. If I want to go out and have a big steak dinner, I'll go do that.
Are you Mexican?
I am Mexican.
Okay.
Yep.
So have you heard about a tea diet?
tea diet. No.
You have the Mexican tea diet?
No.
Tacos, tequilas, tostadas.
Yeah. Well, and you know what's funny is that maybe I was just blessed because I have a killer metabolism, and so I love burritos. I love homemade tortillas, and so I'm one of those guys where I can eat, and it just. But again, I'm a big green drink guy. Okay, big green drink guy. That movie that came out a few years ago. Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dying.
Yep.
Loved it, right? Because it kind of got me thinking about green, and I'm a big advocate about green because a lot of people don't realize that. Look, man, I mean, when you get cancer, okay, they take you to a treatment center and they put you on an all green diet. So in my mind, I'm thinking I'm not the smartest guy, but I'm thinking that if they're doing it to save your life in cancer,
probably going to prevent it.
Going to prevent it, or at least it's a good chance,
science,
right? It's not rocket.
Right?
Yeah, I'm like, so that's kind of my fitness kind of process that
But you have a routine, right?
I have a routine, absolutely.
Tell me, just out of curiosity, what's your daily routine look like? What does a typical day for you looks like?
So 6 o'clock in the morning, I get up. Get on my little routine that I do, and I have my own little gym there, and I do my little routine, and jump in the shower, and check my emails, whatever. Jump in the shower, and then we have a housekeeper. She'll have my green drink, my eggs, my oatmeal, my yogurt, whatever it is.
Exactly what you want.
Exactly what I want.
That's
Boom!
What
it's all set up, and then I go downstairs. I do that, and really I mainly work from the home. I mean, I rarely go to the office. I go there on Monday morning for about an hour and a half. I do a training there. I have Tuesday night. I do from about 7 to about 9 o'clock. I go to my office, and then Friday night or Saturday morning, depending on the week, I'll go to my office for another couple hours. But literally, that 6 hours a week maybe is all I go to my office. That's it.
I love that because you're not just net worth rich.
Right.
You're lifestyle rich.
That's it.
You know what I mean? That's very important because I know a lot of people who are net worth rich. They make millions and millions of dollars, but they work all the time around the clock. Not you. You know what I mean? As a matter of fact, you have something called the beach money, right? No, the wealth on the beach.
The
right?
wealth on the beach.
The wealth
exactly,
on the, talk about that a little bit.
So Wealth on the Beach Club is what I started because I had so many people. Every day I would open up my inbox on my Instagram and people were asking me questions. And I'm thinking, like, I want to help everybody, but I can't sit there all day and answer everybody's questions because it's like, I mean, I still am trying to build my own business. I mean, I still am trying to.
Instagram, you get a billion messages. You can't do that.
I couldn't do it, So I said, you know what? I'm going to start a Wealth on the Beach Club where people pay me. It's like $100 a month. It's not a lot of money. It's $100 a month, and every week we have a half an hour lesson, and then we do a half an hour Q&A. So it's just an hour a week. They got me. So it's a live Facebook feed, and it's an hour together.
So you mean to tell me for $100,
yep,
which is like $3.33 a day? I'm just doing the math,
exactly.
I can have access to you.
You have access to me.
You gotta be effing kidding me, though.
I will spend an hour with you a week for $100 a month.
And I tell you right now, a lot of times this is so good because if you gave it away for free,
right,
which I know you would.
I do a lot for free.
Because here's the thing. You're not doing it for $100 a month. A man of your stature, somebody who's achieved so much, it's not for that. But if you did it for free, nobody will take it seriously.
That's it. And that's why I did
it. Because there's going to be a bunch of what I call ask holes.
I love that.
You know what I'm talking? You know what an ask hole means? People
are
going to ask all these questions. They're not going to do nothing with it, right?
Don't be an asshole.
Asshole is the worst thing you can do, man. Exactly. So you go in there for $100. At least they got some skin in the game.
That's it.
Some skin in the game. Who cares about $100, right?
Exactly.
But they have some skin in the game. So you're not just wasting your time. They're going to actually go on there and do something good with it. What a brilliant idea, man. What a brilliant idea. Yeah. That's amazing. I cannot believe if you are watching this, you have access to this, man, for $100 a month, $3.33. You spend that much on coffee. Make your own fucking coffee at home and spend some money on yourself with a multi-millionaire who's built his business from the ground up. You have access to it these days. If people don't do that, they just don't want it bad enough.
I mean, look, and so Wealth on the Beach really was a concept and an idea that I want people to be able to build massive passive residual income so they don't have to work for money anymore. And that was my whole goal from day one. I wanted to live like I was at the beach every day. I wanted to live with wealth and not have to worry about working, not have to get up every day and freaking grind it every day. I wanted the freedom and the choices and the options to be able to do what I wanted to do whenever I wanted to do it.
You know, and that's amazing because, you know, if you are trading time for money, guess what? You have a ceiling. You're going to be able to hit a ceiling, right? You know, you have to be able to figure out a way where you're not trading time for money. Mm-hmm. You can be home making money, sleeping, making money, be at the movies, making money, and you figure that out. And most people, that's such a novel thing because they're used to, okay, well, if I got to get paid this much, I got to work this much. And it's not really necessarily true. That's what passive income is.
That's it.
Awesome.
So my passive income comes from the fact, and it's really, it's a form of like residual passive income because the residual income comes from my business with all these agents, right? Yeah. So I teach people that you have to start recruiting. You know, stop trading the hours for dollars instead of building something, growing a team of people, recruit and train and develop other people. So early on, what I did was I started training people like crazy. But then what I did was I put my systems in processes. So I duplicated me. So right now, as me and you are speaking, there are DVDs of me doing my presentation. There are CDs of me doing my presentation. There are websites. There are podcasts. There are YouTube channels. So early on, and of course my first ever was a cassette tape. So that's where you get an idea how long I've been doing. But I just had this vision that, look, I don't want to tell you 47 times how to do something. And by the way, if I give you the DVD and you listen to it 10 times and you don't do shit with it, well, that's on you, dude. That ain't on me. So nobody can ever come to me after all of these years, you know, because especially in my type of business, you know, people will come back and they'll go, well, you didn't teach me enough, or that guy didn't give me enough information, or I didn't know how to, you know, he didn't give me the secrets to win or whatever. Mm-hmm. And so I always knew that by me systematizing everything in processes, it allowed me to always be able to have a comeback to these people. Like, look, dude, you got tape cassettes, you got DVDs, you got CDs, man. You could listen to me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week and learn how to be successful like me. If you don't want to take the time to do that, that's on you, brother. Where can I get these? Where can I get my hands on this? Is there a website? Is there So I have two websites. I'm interested. Yeah. You have two websites. Number one, there's building-leaders.com. That's my old website. And but that has a lot of my materials that are more focused on my company and like the actual company that I'm with. It's more focused on that information and like those processes, like how do I do a presentation in the business that I'm in right now, right? Those type of things. Now I also have alonzoacademy.com. Alonzoacademy.com is where you can get access to like Wealth on the Beach Club, where you can get access to my story. You can get access to some of the different shows, YouTube channels, Instagram. Everything's linked up in that hub right there. Awesome. And of course, future products will be on alonzoacademy.com. Awesome, and I'll put all the footnotes and everything on the podcast. I'll put all the links and everything for people who are interested to be able to do that. Okay, so we got the family, we got the you got the fitness. We talked about the fitness. We talked about the finances. Tell me about fun. Real quick, I want to know. So I saw your Tesla, and that was badass, man. I like the black, I like the way you got it all set up and all that. How fast is that thing? I think it's 518 horsepower or something like that. That's pretty cool, man. Dude, it jams, man. Yeah. I mean, it's the fastest car I've ever had. I mean, the acceleration is just phenomenal. It's fun. It's black. It's all black with white interior. That is so nice, white man. Interior, I really love. And got the flip-up doors. It doesn't have the flip-up doors because it's the S. So okay, the S-type is the one with the flip-up doors. But man, I just like. I'm a little bit on the tech side. Yes. So I like the tech, man. I like the technology fact on it. That I go, bing, bing, and the thing freaking drives by itself. Like no hands, no nothing. You don't have to worry about nothing. You just get in there and you freaking go. You pop in the address and it takes you there. So I love the technology of it.
I was talking to somebody, because I'm a car guy, man. Ever since I was a little kid, I love cars. And I mean, I appreciate all kinds of cars and all that kind of stuff. I was talking to a guy who owns one, and he said he figured out a hack where, I guess, I've never been in one, but I heard like an autopilot, you have to put your hand on the steering wheel every so often. Right. So he puts a water bottle somewhere on the steering wheel where it doesn't detect that. It'll go forever.
So it'll actually.
I'll get you on the, I get on. So maybe we can like a YouTube video like that, so you don't have to actually put your hand. Actually drive over.
I love that.
I don't know if that's a really cool thing to do. Man, I don't know. Tesla, Elon, if you're watching this, man, never mind.
Sorry, Elon.
So that's awesome. What do you do for fun? I mean, what is your like hobby? Like, you golf? Do you play sports? What do you like to do that's like is your ultimate hobby?
Well, when I was driving up here, I'm thinking after this podcast, when the rain goes away, me and you need to go golfing at this nice golf club that you're a part of. Okay, beautiful community, by the way. Always love this community. So, and of course, we're sitting next to your cars here. I mean, is this amazing or what? This is beautiful.
Thank you.
This is
Thank
beautiful.
you, man. I'm a car nerd, man. I always tell people ever since I was a little kid, I've been infatuated with three things: cars, sports, and girls, right? Fortunately, I've narrowed down the girl because, I can afford cars and sports. I can't afford girls, you know what I mean? So
that's a whole nother level, man.
And it's all about living life on your terms, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, yeah.
So golf is one of my hobbies. So I try to play golf when the weather's good. I try to play every week, at least once a week. Worst case scenario, I go every couple of weeks, and so I love golf. Of course, I love sports. I mean, I can go to a baseball game. I can go to any. I love baseball. Growing up, that was a big deal to me. But the truth is, man, is that I love learning. My hobby is learning.
Yes.
Like I am a freak about reading books.
I know. Out of everything you gave me in the house, the most compliment you gave me was my library.
That's it.
You know what I mean? Your cars are cool. This is cool, this and that. But oh my God, look at those books. I saw that right away.
That's me,
and that's me too, man. For me, it's like. A perfect day will be just sitting back and just reading a couple of good books and absorbing and all that kind of stuff. I have a confession to make, though. I'm gonna go on the camera and have a confession.
All right.
So I live in a golf course community. And I belong to the golf course and everything like that. But actually, I suck at golf. I'm not. I really don't. I only play golf a couple of times. I like just like lifting weights.
That's
you know
it.
What I mean?
That's it.
So
that's cool.
I want you to teach me.
There you go.
I want you to teach. I guess golf requires patience, and that's really not one of my greatest virtues.
Yep.
I think I'm going to be like Happy Gilmore on the golf course and not having fits and stuff like that.
But you know what? Let me tell you something, man. Everybody asks me, because I play quite often, but everybody asks me, like, what's your handicap? I don't even have a handicap. And the reason why I don't is because I really don't give a shit. I'm going out to have fun, honestly. Like if me and you go play, like I'm not worried about that you can't play or that you hit it over there or that, I don't know. For me, because look, if I'm not making money doing it, now if you tell me you want to put some money down and bet, then I'll take that shit serious, right? I mean, okay, we'll play. But if there's no money involved, which usually there isn't, I want to go out there and have a good time. Like I like golf because, usually you're inside somewhere and that gets me out in the green, it gets me out in the trees, it gets me out, different places where, and it also, I think the most important thing about it is it helps me build relationships with people. It's kind of like that one time where you and another guy are sitting in a car for freaking 4 hours, you know what I mean? And you're driving around a dang thing and you're talking and you're laughing and you're having maybe a couple of cocktails or something like that. And it's a fun thing. It's a fun process. And I love golf because of that, more of the social aspect versus the actual playing of the sport. Now I love playing the sport and I think I'm okay at it. I'm not like super good, but that's my fun. I love, look, my fun honestly is being around people. When the Super Bowl comes around, we have a big old party. My birthday comes around, we have a big old party. I'm like hundreds of people at our house. It's like our that's, we're social people, man.
Yeah.
I love having a good time. Because I know that I'm working hard all the rest of the time, and so I work hard, but I also play hard. I like to enjoy myself and have a good time,
All right, so now, let's talk about, I'm going to give you faith, family, fitness, finance, and fun.
Okay.
And I want you to, when I say faith, what's the first word that comes to your head? Ready? Faith.
God.
Okay. Family.
My wife.
Finance.
Wealth.
Fitness.
Consistency.
Consistency. All right. Fun.
Cabo.
Cabo, yeah, you go. Cabo.
That's all, man.
Cabo's
I'm ready. We're going to Cabo this year, so that was on my mind.
So if somebody wants to know more about you, obviously you told us your websites and all that kind of stuff. Tell me all the places that we can get a hold of you. So let's just say I want to be personally do you personally mentor people? Like I know you have your thing that you do, Wealth on the Beach, all that kind of stuff. If somebody want to personally get mentored by you, said I'm gonna come in, I'm like, hey, I want you to take me under your wing,
right.
and I want you to teach me everything, just like Hector did to you.
Yeah, exactly,
right?
exactly.
So can someone do that?
Absolutely. I mean, I still train every Friday night, and I still do my orientation meetings on Tuesday night. So I'm still in the office enough where I'm still giving a ton of personal value. For example, I had a lady that lives in our surrounding area. She contacted me the other day and she said, I want to go into business with you. And so I said, right on, meet me at my office. She came down to my office. We got her all squared away. She's ready to get licensed, and me and her are going into business together. So I didn't really know her very well a couple of weeks ago, and next thing you know, so through social media, I'm attracting a lot of people that are now understanding that I'm not just some guy, far away that you can never get a hold of. You know what I mean? I'm a guy that, because I tell people all the time, look, man, I got about another 10 years in me, man, that I'm going to freaking blow it, blow the doors off, man, to do something. Like we have 24 people that earn between $100,000 a year and $1 million a year, okay? And so I want to turn that into 100, okay? So that's my total focus.
How fulfilling is that for you?
That's my goal.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. How fulfilling is that for you? Because, look, you already made it. Isn't it amazing that you actually have helped other people make it? Isn't that like, don't you wake up every morning and just be like, my God, that's almost like a huge fulfillment. Because up to recently, the fulfillment I had was getting people in shape, changing people's lives through fitness. Yeah. And now with the camp franchise, right? People are like calling me, hey man, I couldn't be able to do this before. Now that I own a camp, I'm doing X, Y, and Z. Now we're doing this for my family, and now that's a whole new fulfillment for me that you've been experiencing all this time.
That's it. And I'm just telling you, the camp is freaking phenomenal. I've heard nothing but amazing things. And to see, because I know Alejandra and I've got to talk with her. She was on my podcast. And so I just, look, man, the fulfillment to be able to do that is everything.
Yes.
And so I really want people to know that they have access to me, and they don't have to pay $100 a month to have access to me. If they just got in touch with me and said, look, I want to go into business with you.
Yes.
The mainly Wealth on the Beach Club is for those people outside of my business or outside of where I can, humanly deal with them.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? But if there's people out there that are like, look, I don't know anything about your business, and I'd like you to show me your business and teach me how to transform my entire life, call me, man. Let's talk. Let's have a conversation.
I mean, look, if I'm somebody right now who has what I feel like is a dead-end job, right? If I'm somebody who, my career is not kind of going where it's supposed to go, right? Somebody that I'm like kind of like frustrated because I got to drive an hour and a half into LA, hour and a half back, and I'm really don't like my work environment. It's like, what do I have to lose? Right. Nothing, right? Nothing. So if you're watching things out there, if you don't like your circumstances, there are people like you providing value that truly want to help. Right. You know what I mean? And if you're not taking this opportunity serious, just like you did, like, you said what, for 4 or 5 months, you didn't pick up the phone. Right. You was like, no, it's too good to be true, too good to be true, too good to be true. Have you not reached out to Hector? Was it Hector?
Yeah.
Have you not reached out to Hector at that time? You'd be like, you know what? You would have kept on your partying ways. You would have kept on getting drunk and going out there. You wouldn't be right now. You'd probably be in a dead-end job, and just unhappy, and now you're here, a multi-millionaire, helped hundreds of people, maybe thousands of people. Right. And because you made that choice, you made the call, how hard is that? But it's, I just don't understand.
You know, look, it's just about having a tiny bit of faith, man. Because look, most people don't believe that they can be successful because they came from unsuccessful upbringings. That's why everybody's screwed up, man, because they learned from their drunk uncle and their broke ass, you know, neighbor, and they lived in the neighborhood with the bars on the windows, and they think that that's the way the rest of their life has to be. Well, that's bullshit. I call bullshit on that one, man. Yeah. I believe that every single person has a legitimate shot. But see, what people think, though, a lot of people get it wrong. They think that it's them that's gonna really ultimately, like, look, I don't think I'm the smartest guy on the planet. I just know I picked a good business that allowed me to build passive residual income. Mm-hmm. And what I did was I was very coachable. I followed the system.
I had the right mentors.
And I had the right mentors. And so look, I can provide that for people. I can be that mentor to them. I can take them under my wing. I can mentor them. I can coach them. I can guide them so that they don't, and I'll even show them stuff mistakes I made, so they don't have to make the same damn mistakes. So everything I did, if for the right person, everything that I did, they could do it faster, quicker, and better.
Yeah, because you already made the mistakes.
That's it.
You already made the mistakes. You already effed shit up.
Exactly.
Right? So you're like, look, dude, don't do that. I did it before, back in 1989.
That's it.
And I just messed that up. And so you already did. And honestly, today, with the age of social media, with the age of everything that we have going on, you can kind of like jumpstart that thing. You can kind of catapult that progress. You know, it took you, let's just say it took you 20 years to get where you are. Somebody, if they really wanted to, with the same will that you had, they probably can do that in half.
Oh, easy. Oh, I know that it can happen because I've already mentored people that have come underneath me that have gotten to $600,000 in half the time that it took me to get to six, or whatever, right? Yeah. I mean, and we have people that have catapulted to $1 million. It took me way faster than it took me to make $1 million a year. And so I just think that the time is never going to be perfect. And people have to get off their couches, make the call, and say, why not me? Like, keep asking, like, why not me? Why can't I live in a beautiful home like this? Why can't I have great cars? Why can't I have freedom and choice? Why can't I travel the world and not have to be, somebody have their thumb on me for the rest of my life? Why can't I have that kind of life? And so, look, I got Instagram. Hook up with me on Instagram.
What is your Instagram handle?
At Daniel Alonzo,
okay.
DanielAlonzo, and I'm drinking a coconut, so nobody can mess that one up.
Hey, that's wealth on the beach right there.
It.
Coconut.
I'm drinking.
That's what I'm talking about.
And I got water in the background
and everything.
There
baby.
you go. And so, but of course, I'm on YouTube. I mean, same thing, Daniel Alonzo. And of course, AlonzoAcademy.com, and so those are the main areas.
One more thing, before we all wrap it up, I saw that at age 28, you had $1 million in cash, right? I didn't get there till I was like, in my mid 30s, I think, that had $1 million in cash. I think maybe a little later than that, actually. So you definitely beat me by a decade, I think. As far as that, But I remember the first time I had $1 million in cash. You know what I mean? For me, it was like this. I wanted to do like a Money Mayweather kind of thing, like put $1 million in cash in a bag, and just carry it around, and see what's going on. Did you ever do that?
I never did. No,
okay.
No, I never did. No, because it was always in some sort of account far away, so
See, that's discipline. So I went. When I first saw I had over $1 million, in a bank account, I go, you know what? I went over to the bank. I said, hey, I want to withdraw $1 million. They're like, you can't.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're like, you can't. They're like, you can only withdraw $100,000 at a time. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? Because I want to kind of take a picture and put it back.
Exactly.
So I had to go back 10 times. 10 for every $100,000. And one time I went with a couple of my friends, and they walked in And the bank was coming, they put me on the side. I was like, hey, are they holding you up against your will? You want us to call the cops? You know, you want to do it? I guess $100,000 is a lot of money for them, you know, to be able to do that. And they had me sign a waiver.
Really?
That is something like, if I carry the money out here, I got jumped, I got killed, they're not responsible.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So yeah, so I have a picture, you know, actually, you know, in a bag, with $1 million, you know what I mean? And that's what I sent it to all my friends, be like, hey,
I love it.
I've arrived.
Maybe I'm gonna do that. Maybe I'm gonna do that. No, I got it. One last story though, you know, because you're a car guy.
I love it.
One of the best things about making a lot of passive income and having a good cash flow in your life is that when I go buy a car, they always ask me, how much money do you make a month, right?
Yeah.
And then, you know, of course I put down, I don't know, 100,000 a month or whatever, and then they go, no. Sir, we're talking about per month. And so that is my favorite car story. So.
You know, I got a good car story for you. I was talking about car stories. So one day I decided that, you know, I was going to buy a car, you know. And it was a Saturday. I was working out. I was in my workout clothes and all that kind of stuff. I had the company car with me, which is a Scion XB, you know, kind of beat up Scion XB and all that kind of stuff. And I was really looking at like the Aston Martins, you know. And I'm like, let me go to Aston Martin dealership. And there's one in Santa Ana, or 5055. So I drove to the Aston Martin dealership in my little shorts and little, you know, sweaty T-shirt.
Right.
You know, I wondered, the guy was on his phone, and he looked at me, and he just looked at me, and he kept being on his phone. So finally, you know, after about 10 minutes, I'm like, hey, you know, I'm looking here to look at some DB9s. He goes, oh yeah, we have them. I go, well, can I take a look at it? And he looks at me, he goes, yeah. You know, he goes, so I go, hey. He goes, so what do you drive now? So I thought he was like sizing me up, you know. Right. And when somebody sizes me up, I want to actually give myself a very favorable. I don't want to prove anything to you.
Yeah.
So I went up to him and I said, you know what? You see that car right there? That's my Toyota. I drive that Toyota right there. That's that Scion Toyota right there. That's my car. And he looked at me. He goes, man. He goes, you're coming up in this world, aren't you? I go, you know, I'm trying to do something like that. So long story short, like he was being really rude, right?
Yeah.
So I said, you know what? Don't worry about it. You know, I said, look, let me tell you something. I said, in my old country, if I want to buy that car, I have to pay cash for it, which I can do it. Right. You know, but I said, in this country, there's something called credit.
Yep.
You know, I can literally just have good credit and just sign off on it and drive it. So either way, you get a commission.
Right.
So you just lost the commission.
Yeah.
You know. So then later on, they called me. I literally went down the road 20 minutes later and just bought a Mercedes, you know, and went back. And it's just so weird how you get treated differently, you know, based on what you put on a piece of paper or on what you drive, even though you're the same person, you know?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think a lot of salespeople don't really, especially in the car sales. I mean, look, man, especially in this day and age, man, I mean, you don't know, man. I mean, the kid could be a internet, you know, marketer that makes 10 million a year. You know what I mean? It's like, you should be nice to everyone and treat everybody with respect, especially for me. I mean, because, you know, I've always looked younger than my age, you know, so whatever my age is, I look young. And so they always look down at me. A lot of people. I mean, that was my insecurity in the beginning. I mean, you know, me as, you know, I always looked at myself as a short, you know, uneducated Mexican kid, you know, and that was my insecurity in the early days.
Shout out to all the short guys, man. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, shout out, you know what I mean?
Short guys, man. Peace.
Good things come in small packages. Holla.
I love that. And I, you know, but that was me. I was intimidated by tall white people. You know what I mean? I was intimidated by people that looked like they made more money. So I think today, I get along with so many people more so because I always remind myself that, look, I don't care how much money you make, man. You treat everybody good. You treat everybody with respect. I treat the guy carrying my bags. I treat the guy, you know, like I never think I'm somewhere that I'm not. And I think that's what's helped me become, and look, you know, maybe get there a little bit faster. And again, I haven't arrived yet, man. I have not arrived. I got a great life, but I'm still, you know, I still want to hustle. I still want to make a difference. I still want to do, you know, more than I'm doing right now because I have the ability now to do it because I love it, not because I have to. And that's the difference. That's the difference, man.
Let me ask you something. So we're on that topic.
Yep.
Do you have a time to say, you know what, I'm done hustling? I'm done hustling. You know what I mean? I just want to be off the radar, be off the thing, you know, because I don't know, you know, I asked myself that question, you know, and I told myself I would, and then I didn't,
Right.
and I gave myself another goal. And everybody around me, they're like, Sam, you're never gonna slow down,
Right.
you know, because I'm kind of motivated by progress. I'm motivated by just moving forward. I can't just sit home and Netflix and chill.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right,
It's not my thing, you know, and when I'm just, every once in a while when me and wifey just sitting down and just watching a movie, it's almost like me being comfortable is the most uncomfortable thing for me.
Exactly.
Does that make sense? Are you the same way?
Oh, I'm the same way. I mean, look, my whole goal at 21 was to be retired at 30. That was all I wanted, man. That's why I got there so fast, because that's all I thought about every day.
All I want is $200,000 to retire. If I have $200,000, you thought some small number, right?
Yeah,
So
I mean,
that's all I need. You know what I mean?
I mean, I had the picture of the $1 million in my mind, and I was like, I want to get there before I'm 30 years old, so I never have to work again. I mean, that's what allowed me. Like, I always thought I wanted to put my oxygen mask on, right?
Yeah.
Be safe, my family safe, I'm secure, and then, hey, man, I go all over the world, do whatever I want to. But what happened is that I was listening to this Anthony Robbins tape or something, and he said, when you retire, you die. And
It's a
that
fact,
was
though.
it, man.
It's
When you
a
retire,
fact.
you die.
It's a
I mean, think
fact.
about all these people that turn 65. That's why they need to go to the camp, because they're 65 years old. They're sitting on watching Netflix all day long. They're getting fat. They're getting lazy.
have no
they're getting
purpose.
tired.
You have no
and then
purpose.
Think about it. If they go to the camp, they can build relationships with all. It's a social thing. That's why the Okinawans, they're in Japan. They're the society that lives till 100.
Yeah.
Most people live to 100, and the reason why is because they work. They make progress. They eat a lot of fish, and they're social creatures out there.
Absolutely,
man.
100%. 100%. I agree, man. Yep. I think that once you retire and you don't have no purpose, then if you have no purpose on this earth, and by just sitting down watching TV, and you're gonna perish.
That's it.
God didn't put you in here just to do that. Once you succumb to that, you're done.
That's it. I totally agree that, man.
Man, I can talk to you for hours and hours and hours, man.
I can feel that, man.
I really, truly appreciate you coming on the show. And again, one more time, tell us where we can find you.
Daniel Alonzo, at Daniel Alonzo. Check me out, right? YouTube channel. I'm posting a lot of new YouTubes right now. Of course, you can find me on Twitter. And then if you want to hear about if you want to read my story and read a little bit more about me, go to alonzoacademy.com. I'd love to share. I answer questions all the time through Instagram, through all my outlets, but I'm here to help. I'm here to serve. I'm here to make a difference. So thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for being on the show.
All right.
Thank you.